Good afternoon, tickle me, it's Tuesday. Actually, I'm really craving some tacos. Yeah, that sounds really yummy. Like spicy, make it hot, give me some salsa on top, some mac cheese, make it yummy. How are you all doing today? It is a sunshiny day here in the Florida, the Sunshine State. And I just happened to get out here a little earlier. I've already taken Buddy all the way out to find my sunglasses. You ever do that? Am I the only one? You like put them down, then you forget where did I put them, but then you realize, oh, they're still where I left them. So yesterday I had them hanging on the tree when I went live. And that's the only place I could think of was, must be where I went live last. So sure enough, they were hanging on the branch, ready for me to pick them up. And then Buddy, on the way over, actually found this perfect spot that I'm standing in right now. It's really nice. There's a nice breeze. You can probably hear a little bit of the wind. It's a lawn cutting day, so hopefully I was able to bypass because most of the lawn cutting has already passed me by. So hi Anita, hi Mark, hi Heather. How's everyone doing today? Hi, April. Let me know in the comments how your Tuesday is going. How are you enjoying the day? Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Stuart. I know for myself, I'm always just so grateful to be able to get out by the water. I mean, this really fuels me. It really feeds my soul. I got up early this morning and I went to sadhana. I was really dragging butt. I don't know if y'all can relate to that one, where you're lying in bed and my bed is so beautiful and I feel like, oh my gosh, what is that noise? What is that horrible noise that is trying to wake me up? And it happens like 4 or 5 times because you hit snooze. And then Buddy's looking at himself and you're going, stop, Buddy. Oh, I hope you feel better, Anita. I'm sending you lots of love and blessings for rest and recuperation. Reset that beautiful self of you. Ah, yes, beach days are the best days. Every day's a beach day if you allow it to be, right? So for myself, oh, that's funny. These guys have riding lawnmowers. You might be a little jealous if you see some of them running around the way they do. So I know for myself, okay, so getting out of bed this morning, right? Sometimes you're like, I just want to lay in bed. I just want to enjoy the comfort, the cloud as I call it. It's called the love cloud, right? Sometimes I just want to stay in the comfort of being embraced by the covers. And, I really enjoy having a down comforter, even in the summertime when it's hot. I like a little coolness. I like the breeze, but just enough because I also am very sensitive to the cold. So I like to be all covered up in my cloud. And sometimes we can get so comfortable in our comfort, we fear stepping out of that. And that's the one thing that'll hold us back the most in life, right? Is the vulnerability, the courage of, hello, hi world, I'm here, I'm in my comfort. And so it takes really coaxing and reminding yourself. I do this on a daily basis. Sometimes I'm like, well, wait a minute. You know what? I could just hang out at home. Hi, Ann. Hi, Alex. I could just stay in the cloud all day and be cozy and warm and nothing will penetrate or bother me, right? But sometimes we have to step out. We have to step into our courage because that's the only way we're going to grow. The discomfort is where we grow the most. It's where we're going to find ourselves. It's, if you're not being challenged, then you're not growing. If you're being, you're staying stuck in your beliefs, your habits, your routines, then how are you going to truly embrace and be present in your life, be a part of it, to engage, to contribute, to receive? It's that receptivity. You have to truly be vulnerable. And I'll tell you what, and it's in everything you do. It's even speaking up for yourself, even if it isn't the kindest way of doing it, that's still a form of vulnerability and takes courage, right? Because to be courageous It means to step into the unknown. It means to test the waters, to, again, step out of the comfort zone and allow yourself to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is where you're going to grow the most. The fear of rejection, as I've learned in my own life, the fear of rejection doesn't get us anywhere. Staying small and keeping yourself protected, staying away from all that stuff out there, is not going to serve you. And you're meant to serve too. So if you yourself don't step out of your comfort zone, how are you also going to take care of others and to set the example and serve in your full capacity? We have to be rubbed, right? It's really important to become the diamond, to shine bright like a diamond, right? If we don't allow ourselves the opportunity to be hurt, be seen, be heard, it's all that vulnerability. It takes courage. But each time you do step out of that comfort zone, you have created another momentum, right? Moment to moment creates momentum. It's energy in motion. It's what sets you on the course. Your path will unfold if you put one foot in front of the other. If you're afraid and you're just going backward, then you're going to continue to relive what may feel comfortable, but it may not be the comfortable. It just might be the familiar. Because you know what's going to happen, you stay stuck. And in my past, my experience have taught me that the more I was holding back because of fear, because of the fear of rejection, the fear of being seen, the fear of not being liked or accepted, it all belongs in the same category. It's all fear. Those are the times when I didn't grow the most. But the more I actually put one foot in front of the other, okay, maybe just saying something is going to set someone off. But you know what? Better to know, better to put yourself out there and be courageous enough, open to receiving whatever's going to come back at you. You may be surprised. Quite often when I assume something, the surprise was pleasant to find, oh, maybe I was incorrect, maybe I was wrong. And that's humbling now, isn't it? Oh, here it comes. It's humbling. Apparently I have my earbuds on backwards. I just noticed that. It's humbling to truly put yourself out there and go, oh, you weren't judging me the way I thought you were. And if someone is judging you the way you think they are, well, is it really even pertinent? But again, we have to put ourselves in a position of allowing someone to prove us right or wrong. It doesn't matter whether we're right or wrong. The mind is the only thing that's going to really keep you stuck in that wanting to be right, whether it's a good or a bad right, because sometimes our mind will get so fixated on the worst case scenario and then it creates it. It manifests in our physical existence, our reality, to where we're like, I don't want to do that again, because if I do that again, then I'm going to get that response. So when you keep the cycle, the stories going in your mind, it is going to show up to you exactly the way you expect it, because that's where your fixation is. Where attention goes, energy flows. There's no coincidence. I was thinking, oh, hopefully they're done. Not where I am, apparently. He's trying to whip by me real quick. That thing moves quickly. And so where attention goes, energy flows. And when we're fixated on the story, we're continually telling the same story. How are you going to grow if you're stuck in the comfort of holding on to that story? Right? Again, the story may not be a happy one, but it's the comfort of knowing, because it's familiar, that it's predictable. But then that was the past. And the courage comes from stepping out of that comfort of knowing something you've experienced into something you don't know what's going to transpire. You don't know what's going to happen down the road. you can assume a whole heck of a lot, and that's not going to serve you whatsoever. It'll just keep you stuck in that pattern with those stories. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Matthew. Say hi in the comments. I want to know where you're all tuning in from. If this is your first time tuning in with me, let me know. If you have any questions, how are you showing up and stepping into your courage today? Thank you, Sean. I mean, I could tell you that just walking down the street, I know I'm sick of my old story, Cheryl. Walking down the street, I know Buddy's going to stop and sniff, so I have to be attentive. Is he going to pull me out of my arm socket? Maybe, but I can't hold on to expecting the worst. No, actually, I'm very pleasantly surprised. He has his patterns, but they're fun. And he surprises me here and there. He brought me to this beautiful location where I'm at right now. As you can see, the pier behind me, this little person, it's a private dock of someone's. I've got this beautiful sparkly water front over here. Hi, Rhonda. Welcome. Hi, Jennifer. Jealous of that weather you have. Chilly up here in Canada. And I used to live in northern Maine, across the border from New Brunswick and Holton, Maine. Very cold up there, so I feel ya. Ooh, Asheville, Teresa. So Asheville's another beautiful location. I've never been there, but I've heard it's really similar to the area I live in. I know a lot of people from Asheville come and relocate to this Clearwater, Florida area, and vice versa. So I have a lot of friends who go up in that area. So I really wanted to talk about stepping into your courage, because this is what is so important for my growth, I know. And I've played small a lot of my life. I just wanted to kind of go along the course that I thought was the best course. I did it enough. I was in the Air Force, like I've shared before, and continued. I had the job that was really good money, and I knew it was secure, and I was supported and all that. But not being in that space anymore, now it's more uncertain. And so for several years, in addition to having to sell my house and closing out old investment accounts that I had, so I pretty much liquidated everything, and then I at least invested in my home here. But it was about stepping into my courage and still staying in my courage here, because every day is uncertain for me. So I'm not doing what I used to do that was, that's going to work. Now I'm doing things that maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. I really truly believe in the vision I've held for most of my life, and that is that I feel I'm meant to serve in some capacity that has amassed all the knowledge over the years, the experiences I've had, that I can relate with other people. And if that, however that's going to show up, I'm holding on to it. And so each and every day I feel I'm showing up not just for myself, but for my family, my ancestors, my friends, my loved ones. Everybody in my life, to me, is what I do daily for. So stepping out of my comfort zone can sometimes be scary. My comfort zone would be, I should go get a job, a job, one that brings in an income and has all these benefits. And how will that support my soul and my evolution and my growth? The whole entrepreneurial side of the house is very uncertain, and it takes a lot of faith and trust and knowing and belief in yourself and your vision, and holding true to that sometimes can be scary. And the fear that pops up for myself, of course, is very simple. What happens if I can't pay my bills? What happens if I can't get food? But I've been very blessed and very fortunate that each and every day something has shown up. And I have to tell you that I believe in miracles, because my life is a miracle. So that in my own sharing, the vulnerability, the courage of not just going to what has always worked, but stepping into what is unknown and unfamiliar. I've known for a long time I've wanted to do something huge, and so that for me is huge, just not going in that old way. So I got up this morning and I did my sadhana, I did my morning practice, and I feel really amazing when I do that. I might drag my butt out of bed, right? Comfortable in the love cloud. But every time I do it, I'm grateful I got myself up. Maybe I'll need a nap later. But truly, every time I do it, I see how it serves my day and my life. So if you haven't seen the Kundalini Yoga Challenge that is up on our YouTube, we have a playlist. Each one is unique, and it gives you a taste of a different Kriya, meditation, breathing exercises, and it's an opportunity for you to tap into yourself. Kundalini Yoga really has truly transformed my life because it takes me out of myself and becoming the witness, being able to see what's happening up in here and how it's unfolded in my life. Just journaling has changed my life. Just sitting with myself, even when I don't want to sit for 15, 20 minutes or however long it is, right? Ooh, is it 333? I love those numbers. 3 is one of my favorites. I'm the oldest of 3 girls, third in technically the middle if you count my older brother and sister who my mother had prior to us. Hi Dory, how are you? Hi Carl. So I tend to kind of really come out with a theme in the day after having my practice, and I see it unfolding, I see it playing out around me, and I went to this sadhana, and it was just 2 of us. The practice we did, and it's in my the playlist with the Kundalini Challenge, a 40-day challenge. Excuse me, a little bit of dryness in the air. It's called Awakening to the 10 Bodies. And that particular meditation, aligning and setting yourself, is also, in our thighs is where our courage lies, right? So you have to do 54 frogs, I'm just saying. Excuse me. There's a little bit of dust in the air, and it's probably from them doing the lawn. So, yeah, Awakening to the 10 Bodies. Excuse me. Oh, I love hearing the birds too. Awakening to the 10 Bodies. I really felt it today, and I'm gonna ask, how are you all handling this week so far? Have you found it challenging, or have you found, like I expressed the other day, that you woke up feeling like it was a fresh new start? So this weekend was a little bit more challenging mentally for me, and I was dealing with and processing a lot of emotions behind the scenes for myself. But yesterday, Monday morning, I woke up going, oh, look, a brand new, fresh day. I really, truly felt like there was a shift. Something significant changed. And the beauty is that I felt like a fresh new person, unlike those previous days where I was feeling anxiety, feeling emotions bubbling up, feeling myself questioning my thoughts, questioning my life, doing that whole, what am I doing? What is this all for? And, sometimes holding out for the miracle can be challenging to the mind, because the mind's like, well, I don't know if I can handle this anymore. But usually one thing I've learned in my life is the more I feel the trepidations, I feel the anxiety, that's when I have to just simply breathe into it and allow it to flow, and then it unfolds. But it takes courage and it takes vulnerability. And whenever I've shown up and just allowed, I'm just going, this is unbelievable. Nobody would believe half the stuff that happens in my life. It's just crazy. But I'm so grateful because I get to witness it. And that's what meditation does for me. It allows me to witness, to see things in a slow motion. The ability to witness, wow, I was just thinking that, and this is what just transpired. And it's everything from the good thoughts to the bad thoughts, right? So sometimes we have a negative thought prop in our heads, and then all of a sudden what happens is something will also match that vibration, mirror that thought, and you're going, really? Well, guess what? When you see that in your life and you're able to at least catch yourself in that moment of going, how did I just think that and that just happened? Well, we're pretty powerful here. we just don't give ourselves the credit. We want to point fingers. That used to be the old thing was Murphy's Law, right? I remember growing up with the Murphy's Law syndrome. It's like, oh, that's Murphy's Law. If something's going to go wrong, it does. Murphy doesn't have anything on your manifestation abilities. It's all personal. It's all within. But then there's those times when I catch myself go, this is what my intention is for today, and I watch it happening. And that's exactly what's been transpiring today. So as I set myself, and I as I say every morning, let me align with the flow of my soul and allow it to make me whole. And then I have more that depending on the day and what I feel I need to add to intention-wise, and I allow myself to receive, right? Because that's the key. You can ask for things, you can put prayer out there, but if you're not willing and open to receiving a response, or at least allowing that which you claim to desire, want, wish, right? If you're saying you want it, but you could be rejecting it, you could be pushing it away just as much as you're claiming you want it. We want a lot of things, but how often do we allow them to populate our life, to enter our lives? Again, being vulnerable, stepping into your courage, and knowing that you're worthy. Even if, as we say, as one door closes, an even bigger one will open. Looking through the past, you can see, if you're clear on the intentions you've set and the things that you've put your foot forward on, when you step into your courage, even the times when you've been denied, rejected, even successful in stepping into your courage, you can probably look back and go, wow, that always worked out for me in the end. Maybe not the way you ideally wanted it to, but it worked out in a positive way that it either steered you in the right direction because of the fear, the rejection that came from it, or it was exactly what you were desiring, but it came out even better. Turned around, right? I love just the simple example that sometimes when I'm running late or I'm trying to do too much at home and I try to and I do this, I don't know if y'all do this. I'll be running late somewhere and it's usually as a result of my trying to do too much. Boom, boom, boom. I look at my watch. I know exactly how many minutes it takes me to get to the yoga studio. I know exactly how many minutes it takes me to get to this point, to that point. And I have an intention that I want to do this, this, and this. But then I'll proceed to go, but I think I can do this. Right. As long as I walk out that door with this much time. And I push it. I push the limits. And I know that about myself. That is one of the things I am very clear, very aware of. And I see how it unfolds in my life. Sometimes it benefits me, but I'll tell you what, it's so huge because it always shows up to work out in my favor. Always, 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 always. Even if I think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that again, right? I did it again, I'm running late. But then I arrive and there's a delay and there's no point in having been on time because something else had stepped in that had maybe the appointment I was going to has me sitting there for a few more minutes. So it wasn't just me being late, it's just the whole thing unfolded the way it was. So I never feel like I've wasted time, technically. Or how many of you have had this happen where I'll have to run back in the house and grab something, and then as I arrive to my destination, all along the way, right there, there's an accident, and I feel like, wow, maybe that could have been me, and so I've been prevented from an accident. I really do truly believe divine timing, and that there are ancestors and angels and spirit guides that are there protecting and watching over me. I do believe that because I grew up with a very strong connection with my own angels and spirit guides. And so, yeah, I do believe in all that. And if you do, that's beautiful too. If you don't, that's cool too. And this is what's personal to each and every one of us, is that we all have our beliefs and experiences, and that's what makes us who we are. It enhances our essence of being, is all of that, but it's really not who we are, it's just part of our experience. And sometimes that's what gives us the courage, right? Is knowing that everything's always worked out. So each time we allow ourselves a little bit more vulnerability and stepping into what may feel uncomfortable, and I love this because it's been scientifically proven. For every time you exercise your courage muscle, right, and you put yourself out there, hey, listen, for single ladies, single men, you got to put yourself out there, right? Sometimes it's just walking into the grocery store and you meet the right person. Sometimes it's going to someone's birthday party that you just don't feel like leaving the house to go to, and you go and all of a sudden you meet someone. It's the little things in life that when you look at your life, you can see, if I hadn't have stepped up and gone out, stepped out of my comfort zone, and been a little vulnerable and courageous, then I wouldn't have encountered and met the love of my life, or the person who catapulted me into a more powerful sense of awareness of self, right? Or someone appreciating you just as much as you feel you appreciate yourself. So scientifically it's been proven, the more we do these things that feel uncomfortable, we find that when we're rewarded with, oh, look at that, that was a great opportunity, I stepped out of my comfort zone and something great happened. Well, don't you get excited when that happens? You know, this trepidation and fear leading up to anything that's unfamiliar, because the mind is going, I don't know what this is about. This feels uncomfortable because I don't know, I don't have control over it. But the reality is that you get an inner reward system with the whole hormones, the happy hormones. You get like that whole, oh, I'm feeling confident. I feel amazing, ecstatic, beautiful, because life is happening for me, not to me, right? That's what happens. And each time you do something that's outside of your norm and you challenge your mind that is wanting to control the outcome in the situation, you're creating this stronger sense of self, physically, emotionally, and mentally. It's all inclusive. You can't separate the mind, body, and the soul. You can't just add this food in your diet and that's going to solve all the problems in your mind. You can't just shut off your mind and try to work through things physically. You have to always be aware of all that's going on, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, right? All of it's inclusive. All of it makes up the whole. I totally did not find myself eating, the way I do as a result of, hey, I'm trying to save the planet and I'm trying to help the animals. Because at that time, I thought I was doing the right thing. I don't really talk about it being a label. I just feel like my lifestyle. Oh, what do we got going on? You see a birdie? Buddy's he's on alert over here. So I had to find my way through the fact that my body was shutting down. My immune system was weakened. I was having reactions to foods that I was putting in my body. And looking through the past and all that I experienced as a child, there's some correlation there between the wheat, the gluten, and trauma as a child. I haven't tried to heal it in the respect that I would ever want to go back to it, but it's given me more awareness into my physical body, and it steered me in a different direction, on a different path. And I know what it feels really good in my body now as a result. And then as a result of that, I also found myself becoming more attuned to my physical body as a result, becoming more mindful of my thoughts, noticing how my thoughts affect my food when I'm preparing them. All of that's so inclusive. That's what Buddy was attuned to. He already knew that was coming. Yeah. So the courage is in accepting and honoring everything about yourself and not worrying about how it's going to look to someone else. Really, I know my own experience has been that a lot of times I've wanted to connect with people, and so sometimes I'm a little fearful of meeting new people. I know that might sound kind of funny, given as much as I show up. But I still have those moments where I just don't want to be around big crowds. But then when I put myself out there, I'm going to tell you, it's quite rewarding to me because I feel like the right people always come into my life. When I go to the grocery store, I'm not expecting anything, but it just feels like if I walk out of the house with a smile, everybody I greet and encounter has a smile. It's actually rare for me to encounter people who are rude, obnoxious, because I don't have that energy. I feel my vibration is more like receptive. And so that even when I may encounter somebody who may have been in a bad mood, I feel like there's already like a shift just being in the presence of the other person, that maybe I'm uplifting them or maybe they're uplifting me. But it's all receptivity. To me, it's all courage, it's vulnerability and allowing yourself to be seen, to encounter one another. Yeah, there are some things going on in the world. A lot of things are going on in the world, but you know what? We only have control over what's going on right here, especially what's going on up here, right? Does anybody remember this when you were a kid? It was like, doi, 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 doi. I don't remember what that was from, but I remember it was an old way of going, duh. Like when someone was being crazy, that people go, duh, or doi. That just popped into my mind, like silliness. Doi. I don't know what it came from. Maybe cartoons or something. But I've learned in my life that whenever I've stepped into the uncomfortable parts of my life and been courageous enough to be vulnerable, even if it meant I had a reaction instead of a response, maybe I was a little crass, maybe my behavior wasn't the best, maybe I was acting a brat, maybe I was crying out loud, whatever it's been. It's all vulnerability. It all takes courage just to be seen, to allow yourself to be seen in your best light and in your worst light. And I've been seen in all different lights. Hey, come on, I did a video the other night in Baboofas, right? It's all real. There's no holding back, I'm telling you. It's not worth it. If you have to hold back, then you're not living in your authenticity. And in that in itself, an inauthentic life is exhausting. And so the more we catch ourselves filtering or putting on a mask, we're actually cutting off that life force and that authenticity, that raw authenticity, as I like to say, as we say, right? Being courageous and standing strong in your power, it's going to move the mountains that you may perceive as being in your path. You'd be surprised. Just putting yourself out there in the subtlest way it's just going to, like, I think of the Bible story of Moses parting the waves. Energetically, if you just stand strong in your personal power and show up as you are, just allowing yourself to be, right? And owning yourself too, because it's really powerful when you step into you and your courage, that you're going to really, truly, you're going to create a ripple effect, right? And those around you are going to also feel you, and they're going to know you're reliable, you're able to stand strong, and it's going to give them the impetus to do the same for themselves. It's going to give them the motivation, the inspiration. We inspire. We respire and inspire, right? That's actually the coolest thing, to think that we're breathed into and we breathe in out, right? So we're always sharing the breath of life. Just think, every time you take in a deep breath, somebody else has exhaled that prana, that life force that is circulating around us at all times. The energy is always in motion. Allow your body to be moved and breathed into. And inspire, respire, ebb and flow with the tides, with the waves. I'm just feeling really, life is grand. Life is beautiful. I'm happy. And I hope all of you are having an amazing day. It is absolutely stunning outside today. I think I'm going to, oh boy, he is having his naparoo over here. I'm really grateful because this is Buddy's gift to me today, is this perfect, sweet little location. Despite the sounds, sometimes you hear the traffic around or something, but it's just really peaceful. Life is amazing, Cheryl. I totally agree. Thank you, Carl. You're awesome too. I appreciate each and every one of you for always sharing and supporting me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love each and every one of you. You all make my day with your comments and your just showing up, and it really warms my heart. If there's anything that you could do, it's showing up for you. And so I hope you all have an amazing Tuesday. I love you. See you later.